everyone, welcome to episode 11 of the Finding the Perfect Carry Gun series here on my channel, She Equips Herself. This has been a really exciting and fun series to shoot, and it's been very eye-opening because I've been getting to try out a new gun every single week. I shoot them all the same way at the range, and then if I score an 80 or better on my target, I carry it for the week, and I show you guys different ways to carry whichever gun I'm trying out that week. So this week, because I've only done one revolver so far, I did the Smith & Wesson 632, my husband and I decided to have me test out a few different 38 snub-nosed revolvers. And rather than me doing a qual with each one, you guys are gonna see me shoot them all. I do like 2 cylinders worth out of each one, and then I figure out which one's my favorite. I'm not gonna spoil it for you guys just yet. And then I'll do a qual with that one. So it was quite a comical day at the range, and you guys will see there were a few moments where we just started laughing because it was, I don't want to spoil it. So before I talk about my experience, I'm gonna show you the range footage and then we'll talk about it. So stick around to after the range footage and I'll give you my thoughts. All right guys, we're here at the range. I'm gonna shoot these 3 guns side by side and then figure out which one I want to do my qual with. So here we have a Cobra, a Ruger LCR, and a Smith & Wesson Model 38. So I'm just gonna fire some rounds out of each one, and I'll figure out which one I'm gonna shoot for the rest of this video. Okay guys, I'm starting with the Colt Cobra. Let's see how this goes.
One more.
Yeah, that one hurt a little bit. First thoughts, it wasn't as bad as I thought, I think because the rubber grip really helps. But my index finger was hurting a little bit on the trigger. So I'm gonna shoot a little more and see what happens. I don't wish to shoot this more. It's hurting my hand. Look at my finger. Can you focus on that? It's like an indent in my index finger, and that's what's hurting me the most. I was shooting all of that from 10 yards and it was all double action. So let's look at my target. This was my first few rounds, my first 6. And then I was aiming at the head the second time and I missed one there. The gun feels very accurate. The grip definitely helps as far as my entire grip and the way that feels, but that really hurt my index finger a lot, and I was looking forward to my last round. Okay, now I'm going to do the same thing with the Ruger LCR. Same type of ammo, same distance, double action. So let's see how I do with the Ruger. Okay. It doesn't feel good. And I don't know if it's now because my finger's already sore from the previous gun, but I feel like I'm looking at you and not the camera. The trigger felt like it was harder to pull back on that. And the grip is not as comfortable as the Cobra. But let me do 5 more shots at the head. Alright, 5 more.
At the head.
At the head. If I miss, it's totally on me. Getting in my head. Okay. Such a bad flinch. Oh, that was terrible. I felt it happen. trying not to flinch and trying to not like lose the strength in my finger. Okay, here we go.
Don't flinch.
Okay, that one was right in the middle.
That's what,
that took a lot of effort.
that's what happens if you don't flinch.
Okay.
The sights work when you don't flinch.
Right, okay. Alright, let's see how I did. Man, my finger hurts so bad. Alright. Where are my other 2 rounds? Oh, okay. It was, okay, this is it. It was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then my second volley, when I was aiming at the head, my first shot went here. That was my really bad flinch, and I felt that happen. This was my second shot. And then the third one that took me like an hour was right here. And then my 4th and 5th. So that's just a lesson in trigger control. If you keep your sights on target and you practice your trigger control, your gun's gonna do what it's supposed to do. This was totally my fault and me flinching, and so was this. So the gun did its job. Do I want to shoot it again? Absolutely not. But let's go to the third one. Okay, last one. I'm gonna do the same thing with the Smith & Wesson Model 38. Here we go. This is way better than both of those. FYI. Much better trigger. See how I did. Alright, my first group. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I managed to keep them all on the head. Out of all 3, this was definitely more comfortable than the other 2. The trigger still feels very heavy to me, but it didn't hurt nearly as much as the other 2. So this is going to be, I think you predicted, cameraman, that my favorite was going to be the Ruger, but I think this is my favorite out of those 3. And the one that I shot the best. So for any of you who are students of our Practical Handgun Academy, which is one of our online courses, it's the live fire online course, you would have seen us shoot this gun with this little wooden grip. And if we remember correctly, we did not enjoy it. I know I didn't enjoy it nearly as much as I did just now shooting it with the rubber grip. So the grips can really make a difference. If you try a gun with a wooden grip, like these 2 are almost the same exact gun. This one has a wooden grip and this has a rubber grip. That might make a huge difference when you try them out. So don't count a gun out just because you don't like its wooden grip, because you can get a rubber grip for it.
Also, don't count out a gun just because of the hard or the wooden grip, because this is actually, it's a plastic, but it's, you know, it's a hard grip like wood. This is significantly more comfortable than this to shoot, and then this is the most comfortable because not only are you getting the same type of grip where like the whole hand fits, and you can also see that behind the trigger's not smashing you in the knuckle. You can also see that on the Ruger, but it's also in this grip. So changing the grip can absolutely make the gun much more comfortable to shoot, but you don't always just have to go to the rubber. There are downsides to rubber when it comes to concealment. Shooting, it's almost always the best, but when it comes to clothing kind of getting stuck on it and stuff, and pocket carry, and maybe even purse carry, like these are slicker, so they're less likely to get hung up on things. But this gun is comfortable with this grip and this grip. This is an absolute horror show. So you have lots of options. Also, just so we know, stop shooting 148 grain wad cutters here. They're not lights. They are full power wad cutters. So they look funny, but they make nice holes in the paper, and we just have a ton of them. There are lighter alternatives, especially on bullet weight and power load. So if you're shooting a relatively stout round out of a small gun. So.
Okay guys, now I'm at 15 yards. I'm gonna attempt to do my 50 round qual. Hopefully I can make it through. I don't know if my index finger is gonna be able to pull the trigger that many times. It's already feeling a little bit tired, but I'm gonna give it a go. I'm gonna give it a solid try. So I've got it in my holster. If you wanna know the course of fire that I'm doing, it's in the description of all of these videos. So here we go. On the target, should I shoot it? That was 5, right? My hand's getting tired. Second. Okay, I'm glad I could pull the trigger all those times. Did you see my hand shaking? I'm like... Don't laugh at me!
I'm sorry, it's like...
Can you see it shaking?
Oh man, sorry, go ahead, I'm gonna get a close-up of that.
Okay. Oh, I did it. Oh, but I missed. It's like I'm trying so hard to pull the trigger that I throw it off. I'm missing really bad now. I'm ruining my target. Alright, my left hand hasn't done any of the trigger pulling yet, so I should do okay now. Let's see. One second. Oh my gosh. It's like I can't pull it back. I can pull it back. I can do it. That was way too fast. Still hard, even with the left hand. All right. Let's take a look at my target.
You happy it's over?
I am very happy it's over. I think that gun was definitely the lesser of 3 evils. But I can't say that I enjoyed shooting it. When I shot the 32, I remember I enjoyed shooting that. My hand, again, wasn't strong enough to keep pulling the trigger after, I don't remember how many rounds it was, like 80 rounds. My hand got really tired and I couldn't pull the trigger back. But it wasn't not enjoyable to shoot. These guns were not enjoyable to shoot. I think I'm a semi-auto girl, which we probably all know, but I like to try these things so I could show you guys. I was just telling Mac, I do like the perfect holes that the wad cutters leave. Like, doesn't that look so clean? Look at that.
Wad cutters do make perfect holes,
nice
especially
holes.
this one.
Especially
Way over here. That's my favorite one.
I do want to say I enjoy revolvers. I enjoy a revolver. I like a big, fat revolver. But for carry, I think I'm going to stick to the semi-autos. Alrighty guys, I missed 13 of my 50 shots. Sad face. So I scored a 74, which means I will not be carrying this gun this week because our rule is I have to shoot an 80 or above. Guys, this was actually my wedding gift to Mac. Some of you might not have known that, but he wanted this gun for a while, right?
Yeah.
And so when we were getting married, I wanted to get him a wedding gun, so that seemed like the perfect choice.
Colt Detective Special, third edition there, I think. It's just, it's just I mean, it's beautiful.
It is beautiful.
The bluing on it.
Yeah.
Everything about it's great. Except shooting it.
Yeah, except shooting it.
But it's beautiful.
So you guys might remember, it was like 3 episodes ago, I shot the Smith & Wesson 632. And I really enjoyed it. So I'm gonna compare the 632, which I have on me now, to those 38s I was just shooting, just to see how different the feel is. Because I liked it the day I shot it, but now because this is fresh in my mind, I'm gonna get a more accurate comparison of how the recoil mostly feels. So I'm just gonna do the thing that I was doing in the beginning with each gun, where I fired the first few rounds at the chest and then the rest at the head, and we'll see how I do. All right, here we go. From 10 yards. My finger's tired.
Take a rest.
Look at my finger. Here were my last, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where's my 6th?
I don't think you shot it. I was wondering if you dropped
really?
it.
I did 5?
I thought you shot 5 and then just dropped the one on the ground, and I actually was looking on the ground to see if I could see it because I thought you ejected your rounds early, but I didn't want to say anything.
I kept resting in between because my finger hurt so bad. Much less recoil. It's noticeable for me. I think my finger is just too tired at this point after shooting all those other guns. But the caliber is noticeably more comfortable for me. The trigger still felt heavy, but I don't know if that's just because my finger is so tired. It's hard to tell now.
So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 with the 32. Let's see what happens with the 38.
Excellent group.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 with the 38. Let me shoot both the other two 38.
Okay.
I just shot the Smith & Wesson Model 38 and the Smith & Wesson Model 632 at 7 yards one-handed. So that's the Ruger, and that was 1, 2, 3, 4,
5.
and 5. What happened here? Why is that one all the way over there? And let's see what the Colt does.
Yeah, you're awful. You did so bad. You should be ashamed of yourself.
It brings shame to the family. I'll go to the head just because it's getting a little crowded there. All right, this was like 100%. Like, I just ripped that trigger to the rear. Like, I was mad at it. It owed me money, and it's been hiding. And there's 5, and then this is just. I don't even want to talk about that ever again. If we can.
We'll just pretend that doesn't exist.
But they're all in.
Do you have any thoughts?
Here's the thing. It's like when we talked about recoil. It's so subjective. It does not. I don't really feel much of a difference in the current load that we're shooting, and we're shooting wad cutters, and I don't think we're shooting the 148 grain wad cutters anymore, so maybe I need to do a comparison there. But the 32 recoils less, but not horribly less. They're very similar in feel. They all feel like they're shooting roughly the same. None of the triggers were heavy. They all have a relatively light trigger pull. I grew up shooting 22 revolvers. If you know anything about that, then a 22 revolver double action revolver is like the heaviest trigger pull going because of the way that the firing pin has to hit the primer on the rim to ignite the powder. But they're all in the same boat for me. Like if I would carry any one of them, or I'd carry none of them. Like I'm a semi-auto guy as well, but like I liked them all. I shot them all, and the recoil wasn't that heavy, and the triggers weren't that heavy. So my size, my strength, my technique, no problem. Much different for Stav, and that's really important to remember. You as a shooter are different than the person standing next to you, and you're a hell of a lot different than most likely the person you married. So make sure that you're shooting and finding out what you like, because as you could probably see in the comments right now, everyone has a very strong opinion. People always tell us like what we should be doing, and what it's like. I just smile when I read them because it's like, you don't know Stav's hands.
Let's just show. Let me see your hand.
There's a lot.
Oh,
you gotta go this way. Like, there's a lot going on there.
Look at the difference there.
Like, there's a lot. And technique and strength are the most important aspects of recoil control and probably trigger control when it comes to a heavy trigger. But they're just so hard to compare. Like, how much stronger than Stav am I? Like, I don't know. We'd have to like lift weights and do grip strength, and it's just, that's why I use mass to explain that I'm just more than twice her size, because it's just so much easier to say I'm 240 pounds and she's 110 pounds, maybe. Shoot guns, shoot a bunch of them, shoot as much as you can, one-handed, non-dominant handed, reload them, feel how they feel, and choose the gun that's best for you. Then worry about terminal ballistics, and 9 versus 380 and 38 and 32 and all that stuff. You gotta hit the target first, and that requires practice, and practice will not happen if you don't like shooting your gun. So get a gun you like, that you shoot well, practice with it, and then you're gonna be much, much better off in a self-defense situation, regardless of caliber, if you can hit the bad guy. Then if you have a gun, you shoot it once a year, you hate shooting it, that's never gonna make you better. Keep shooting, practice a bunch, figure out which gun works best for you.
Okay, was I right about the comedy? It was interesting. My finger is still hurting, and I've been home for a while. So I just wanted to give you guys a little something to think about, because my husband recently did a video that I'm gonna link up here where he talked about recoil and how your mass, your body mass, and your strength is going to impact the way that you experience recoil. My husband is more than twice my size. And so the way he experiences, sorry, there's a wasp outside my window, so that, okay. The way he experiences recoil is a lot different from the way I experience recoil. And if you haven't seen that video yet, make sure you watch it, because it has a lot of really great information. So while I was shooting today and I was having trouble with the triggers, I remembered what he was talking about with the shopping cart, and how if I had a shopping cart full of like really heavy groceries and he had a shopping cart with those same groceries, if I were to try to pull that cart towards me, it would take me a lot more strength and effort than for him to pull it towards him. And I think that the same applies to a trigger. When I pull a trigger, like the ones you saw me working today, that was like almost my max strength in my finger and my forearm. Like, it took almost all of my strength, and then I eventually just couldn't do it. And for him, it might be like 10% of his strength. So because of our size difference, our strength difference, that is all gonna play into how I experience a gun versus him. You saw him at the end kind of give his evaluation, and he said he didn't really feel much of a difference. Nothing really hurt his hand. And so I just want to tell you guys that if you're suggesting guns to people, please keep that in mind. And if you're receiving advice from people, keep that in mind, because their experience with a gun is gonna be, it could be totally different than yours, depending on so many different factors. So, and I've seen this happen at the range where a man will give a woman something like this, and she won't like it, or she won't be able to shoot it well, and guess what happens? She gets discouraged, and she's probably not going to want to shoot it again. She might not want to go to the range again. So rather than giving her something that she's not going to enjoy, so just understand that because there might be drastic physical differences between the two of you, that your experiences with the same gun could be drastically different. Like, if someone half of my size, which would be like, I don't know, a 4-year-old, was pulling the trigger, it would be a lot different from my experience. It would be harder for that small person to shoot it and pull the trigger than for me. And it's the same with me and my husband Matt, because he's so much bigger than me. So just keep that in mind. But after the range today, I think that I've come to the conclusion that I'm definitely a semi-auto person, which I think I knew before. I do enjoy revolvers. I think they're beautiful. Like, look at this thing. She's stunning. I like shooting larger revolvers, not so much the 38 snub-nosed. The 32 I did enjoy, and this would be something that I would carry if I wanted to carry a revolver. My hands are used to manipulating a semi-auto, I'm used to the trigger pull, I just shoot them much better, and so I don't think I'll be switching to a revolver, but I want to know your thoughts. Make sure to be kind in the comments, because I know we like to push our opinions on others, but one thing that's right for you might not be right for someone else. And if you've made it this far in the video, I appreciate you. Please leave me a comment below and let me know what you thought, and share this with someone that you think might benefit from it. And just a reminder, our courses are still 40% off if you use the code DAISY24, so don't miss out on that, and I'll see you in the next one. Stay safe. Bye!